Welcome to the Truth Report. I'm Barry Nussbaum. This past week, mature Americans of all political persuasions were equally shocked when an outrageous picture and video of that photo shoot were released by entertainer Kathy Griffin. Her behavior was so outlandish that even the far left expressed horror. She was holding up the severed replica head of President Trump covered in blood. This art was clearly invoking the many executions carried out by and broadcast worldwide by the murderous thugs of ISIS. Sadly, I'm here to report that the disgusting behavior of this comedian is not an isolated case of a performer gone crazy, but rather it's part of a trend that is exploding across America. The practice of calling for the death of the President of the United States. Today, on the Truth Report, we will examine the truth behind these calls for the death of President Trump. Let's start first with Kathy Griffin.
A little bit this way, other way. That's it right there, pull it up.
Yes, that is a video of the actual photo shoot with Griffin holding up a replica of President Trump's head covered in blood. Was this a last-minute spur-of-the-moment decision to get crazy on camera? Was it just spontaneous art as she suggested in her post-photo release apology? No, absolutely not. It was part of a premeditated campaign by Griffin to go after the American president. Here's proof. Here's what she said in December 2016. Quote, "I'm so happy to deliver beat down to Donald Trump. You know, a lot of comics are going to go hard for Donald. My edge is that I'll go direct for Barron. I'm going to get ahead of the game." Barron is the president's 11-year-old son. Yep, and you heard it correctly. This funny lady intended to attack both the president and his grade school son, something that has always been considered beyond the pale. It's just never done. In the same month, Griffin also referred to the Trump presidency as President piece of shit. So as expected, the country reacted with revulsion. Here's CNN. They terminated their agreement with Kathy Griffin to appear on the New Year's Eve program immediately. CNN anchor Anderson Cooper, who is co-hosted with Griffin for years and years, also expressed his personal shock, tweeting, "For the record, I'm appalled by the photo shoot Kathy Griffin took part in. It is completely disgusting and inappropriate." Good for you, Anderson. Griffin then set up her apology press conference, and she did apologize. And then she blamed President Trump for the backlash against her. She said, "A sitting president of the United States and his grown children and the First Lady are personally trying to ruin my life forever. You guys know him. He's not going to stop." Is that crazy? She's blaming the victim. She said the online attacks on her in the last few days, including death threats, were a distraction mobilized by a president embattled by scandal. And she sought to frame it as the kind of bullying she'd been receiving from older white men her entire career. And then she capped it all off by saying she will continue to make fun of the president and will be doing more of it now. Meanwhile, Barron Trump happened to see the picture in the video and started crying, as would any son under similar circumstances. Kathy, you must be so proud that your plan that you announced in December is working. So, after her truly crazy behavior and getting an F on her apology by blaming the president for her troubles that she caused, we need to be aware she's not the first member to jump on the "let's kill the president" train. Remember Madonna making headlines in January of this year with her speech at the Women's March when she admitted she'd been thinking about blowing up the White House? Later, after the controversy blew up and forgetting her entire speech was all over YouTube, that her death threat against the president was taken out of context, Madonna said. Don't believe her either.
Yes, I am outraged. Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Rapper Snoop Dogg has joined in as well. In his latest politically charged music video, the Snoop Dogg shoots down a clown dressed as President Trump with a toy gun. The controversial scene is part of a video released last month. The clip is supposed to represent a satirical look at current events, with Clown-in-Chief Clump even holding a press conference to announce the deportation of all dogs. And so he kills them. Shad Moss, also known as the rapper Bow Wow, came to his uncle Snoop Dogg's defense by threatening to pimp out First Lady Melania Trump. Here's what he said. "Ayo, Donald Trump, shut your punk ass up, talking shit about my uncle Snoop Dogg before we pimp out your wife and make her work for us." That's a Bow Wow quote. Another rapper used his music to depict the murder of Trump while rapping freestyle on a radio show. Big Sean, the rapper, sang about killing Islamic State terrorists with the same ice pick that he used to murder Trump. Quote, "I know Jay proud of me. He put this round my neck, and I might just kill ISIS with the same ice pick that I murdered Donald Trump with in the same night." Those are his rap lyrics. Now, the rap world is not the only source of threats against the new president. The star of the Fox TV show Making History, Adam Pawley, told TMZ that if he could go back in time, he would either kill Trump or Adolf Hitler. He was asked, if you could go back and spend an hour with anyone in history, who would you want to spend an hour with, TMZ asked him, and who would you not want to spend an hour with? So they gave him a choice. And he said, I'd have to kill Trump or Hitler. So according to this idiot, Hitler and Trump are equivalent monsters in world history. And as such, Polly could not decide who he should kill if given the chance, Trump or Hitler. This guy is still on the air, on network. MSNBC counterterrorism analyst Malcolm Nance promoted the idea of an Islamic State attack on one of President Trump's properties overseas. "This is my nominee for first ISIS suicide bombing of a Trump property," Nance tweeted, and he quoted another tweet that mentioned the president's luxury tower in Istanbul, Turkey. And he is still on the air. So now you have a summary of some of what has gone on since the election. And obviously, I have not included hundreds of instances where ordinary citizens have openly called for the assassination of our sitting president. Perhaps even more shocking is these incidents are not happening occasionally, but rather are constant across all areas of American society. And maybe even worse, with the exception of Kathy Griffin, there appears to be absolutely zero consequences for these horrifically inappropriate statements. Stay in touch. We're going to be following up on this story. It's not going away. You can write to me directly by sending me an email to barry@americantruthproject.org and go to our website where you can sign up to be on our mailing list so you never miss an important episode. Don't forget, it's free. America, you can handle the truth, and we intend to bring it to you. I'm Barry Nussbaum.